We have 11 Palestinian names. Each had a hand in planning Munich. You're going to kill them, one by one.
Every civilization finds it necessary to negotiate compromises with its own values.
Well, Steven Spielberg's new political thriller, Munich, stirring up a great deal of debate about how the director handled this film. The movie centers around the murder of 11 Israeli athletes at the 1972 Olympics and Israel's decision to hunt down and assassinate those responsible. Joining me now is Ahmed Bedier, the Central Florida director of the Council on American Islamic Relations, and Rabbi Marvin Heyer, dean of the Seaman Wiesenthal Center and a friend of director Steven Spielberg. Welcome. Nice to have you here. Rabbi, let me begin with you.
Thank you.
But first off, what do you think the clear message is here from this movie? What do you think audiences are going to take away from this movie? It's not an exact history lesson, but certainly they're going to learn a great deal about a very tragic event.
First of all, of course, Steven Spielberg is a great filmmaker. What I think the audience will take away from this is the fact that violence begets violence. And that's one of the problems that I have with the film. In other words, my point is that you have long-term solutions and short-term solutions. The best thing would be to find a lasting peace in the Middle East. But what do we do in the meantime when terrorists are on their way to attack Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, or other cities in the world? I think you do what the Mossad has set this team up for. You go after the terrorists. If you do not do that, you will sacrifice tens of thousands of innocent civilians. So whereas it's in the ideal world, we should search for the perfect solution. That may take 25 years, may take 50 years. In the meantime, terrorists are out there attempting to kill everyday innocent civilians. And the only logical thing to do is to take those terrorists out.
Ahmed Bedier, let me get your thoughts on this. First off, though, what does the Islamic Arab community think of the way that the Arabs are portrayed in this film?
Well, the Arabs are not necessarily portrayed as some sort of heroes. What the film does do, however, is make an attempt to tell both sides of the story. Ironically, you'll find, for the viewers that see this movie, will find that both sides are seeking and fighting for the same thing and have the same desires, which is a homeland. So they are ironically very similar motives and desires.
But from your perspective, do you believe that this is also going to resolve certain concerns about the way that you deal with terrorist acts? I mean, do you believe that it's important that this message says no matter what the price, though, you do go after the terrorists under any circumstance in the situation?
Well, I disagree with the rabbi's position there and others that have continually said that we have to go after individuals and use more violence. There's the only difference between what these so-called Mossad-sponsored assassins and other terrorists, they both use a similar means. They make bombs and they blow up people and they kill innocent civilians. In the meantime, violence begets violence. The policy has not worked, and I'm glad that people like Steven Spielberg have produced a movie to raise questions about these certain policies of killing individuals, especially without due process, without providing the evidence. And many of the assassins that were in this movie questioned the legitimacy of these targets.
All right.
If these people in fact did anything wrong.
Well, we're running out of time, unfortunately, Rabbi. Certainly this is a story that's going to generate continued debate, and certainly a very interesting film for folks out there to take a look at. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Coming up, let's make a deal. That's what bargain hunters are hoping for this day after Christmas. So just ahead, we'll tell you why some Wall Street types think there's a bigger story here. Plus, have you heard this one? Anna Nicole Smith getting some new support in her court fight to the Supreme Court. Wait till you hear who's backing the former centerfold in Washington.